We just spent 2 days in Oxford at Chief Constables Council where we discussed some really important issues. As ever, we were focused on operational coordination. We talked about how all the forces can come together with the National Crime Agency to support South Yorkshire Police in their substantial investigations into child sexual exploitation. And I'm really pleased to say all chiefs found a way to support that important investigation. We also talked with the National Crime Agency about how we respond to cyber issues, how we link what we do locally in forces with the specialist units at a regional level, but also importantly with our colleagues in the National Crime Agency. We also spent some time talking about the future, about the plans we have for digital policing, particularly join up with the Crown Prosecution Service and with the courts, but we also talked about workforce plans, about how in the future we want to have less hierarchy and less levels in police forces, and we talked about whether all forces should just operate on 5 levels so that we make sure that communication is quick between people and that we don't feel we're having to go through constant bureaucratic hierarchies. Lastly, we spent quite a bit of time talking about how we get better, how we grow really good leaders, how we make sure we learn from failure. And as part of that, we had 3 guest speakers who gave a great contribution. Matthew Saeed talked about black box thinking and his thoughts about how we can learn from failure, using lots of examples from other areas. We also had Sir Robert Francis, who did the very important work on the hospitals in Mid-Staffordshire, and he had some really important points to make, which I think transfer very well into policing. And lastly, we heard from Dame Man Hours, who is the chair of the Independent Police Complaints Commission, and she talked about how it wasn't just about failure and blame, that it had to be about learning so we can all be better at protecting the public. So a really good 2 days, lots of work to be done and lots of work between now and when we next meet in October.